Welcome to Creative Pursuits. I'm Casey Parlette. I'm a professional sculptor in wood, metal, and stone. I do mostly wildlife art, and today this is kind of a fun episode. We're doing a shop talk episode, and I'm joined today by Jake and Nasim, who both work with me and have been working with me for a couple of years now. And this episode, we were kind of talking about, people have been hitting me up about some of the stuff, and people have been wanting to know a little bit more about just the background and kind of the day-to-day, and like get a little bit of a deep dive into some of the stuff that we do and how we do it, and hear a little bit more of the process. And the normal episodes, it's kind of a little back and forth with some of the guests or whoever we have on here. But this one, we're kind of just going to dive into some of these projects and have fun. And I wanted everybody to get to know Jake and Nasim, who have been a huge part of getting this project going and doing these sculptures. Because really, a lot of these things, when you're doing sculptures and doing large sculptures and getting it takes a team to be able to do it. And this is not something that I would be able to do just solo on my own. And it's really nice having help to be able to kind of bring different people in and kind of get these projects, get them done and getting them out. So I want to thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Excited.
Yeah. So I'll give a little background. Both these guys are artists in their own right. Jake he's got a jewelry business that he's doing where he's making jewelry from scratch. He's making like chains and stuff like that, and actually creating the designs on the chains, putting them together and doing jewelry, like set stones and all that kind of stuff. And that's been going really good. He's about as busy as he can be doing that when he's not here, and when he's not working other jobs, he's kind of all over the place work-wise. Nasim's been down here full-time for a number of years now. We're going, I think,
3 years?
A little over 3 years, yeah. And Nasim is also a great artist in her own right. She does a lot of different mediums. She's very good on the drawing and painting and all that stuff, but also with the sculpture stuff and doing clay work. But Nasim went to welding school, so she was doing that, and I think that's how you kind of heard about this, was through that, correct?
Yeah, somebody that was working for you came up to me and was like, hey, I work for this artist, seems like really down your alley. Nobody knew, where to steer me because nobody was doing art. Everybody was doing all the other stuff. And,
so you didn't want to just do pipe fitting or aerospace welding?
No. And they were kind of like, figure it out. And so he was like, oh, you should, follow this guy on Instagram, see what he's all about. I think you'd be really into it. And then I think 3 months after I finished school, you put out an ad, and I was like, me, please. And then it was pretty cool. I think it was like 10 people that you hired at the same time.
We can give a little backstory on that. So again, I've been doing sculpture for a long time, and I had a lot of people working with me, and it's an apprenticeship program, we'll call it, but it's also paid. I think it's important for people to be compensated for their time and all that, but it's kind of one of those things where I need help. We're doing some very specific, unique things here, and this is kind of a very unique line of work to be in. But it's also, so there's a lot of potential to learn some different things, but it's kind of a interesting thing. So I remember, years ago when I was lifeguarding, a lot of my helpers were lifeguards because, there's people like, oh, I'm interested in what you're doing and do it. And I think, and it's been great. The downside to lifeguards is that, they basically want like a 10-week long vacation every summer, which might not line up very well with the projects that we have going. And I've also kind of found that lifeguards are great at certain things, but in general, as a group, it's not a strong aptitude for the trades.
Yeah.
So it's a longer learning curve, kind of getting some of these guys trained up. Some of the best workers I've ever had have been lifeguards, but it is in general, like I've found that was a thing. So I think before you came here, I was kind of just putting word out, like going, telling people, hey, if you know anybody, I'm looking for help. Like I need some more people down here. And then, it was just crickets. And everybody's like, oh yeah, young people don't want to work these days. Like they're super lazy. Like they don't want to do anything. Like I tried, getting people like maybe kids from the college. And, this is not like doing sculpture work, especially the kind we're doing, is like the dirtiest, stinkiest, most blue collar form of fine art that you can get into. And so I had a few people come in and like, the teachers, oh, yeah, it's a great opportunity. You can go learn some stuff. And they'd be here for a day or maybe a little while longer. And they're like, oh, this is a little more dirtier and messier. And I don't. Yeah, it's just, so it didn't last too long. So anyhow, I eventually came to the conclusion that maybe I'll just put an ad out on Instagram.
Yeah.
Or not an ad, just put it out on Instagram. Like, hey, like we're looking for whatever. And then I'm thinking like maybe get a person or two people or whatever. And somehow it was like all of a sudden I had like 20 people like, oh, I want to do it. Like I'll do it for free or I'll do it. All of a sudden I was overwhelmed with people. And then, so it kind of ended up almost turning into like not a reality TV show, but like basically like a Survivor.
There were a lot of different, a lot of different characters here during that time. Everyone was very different. Like you could tell some people were very into like the art side of everything, but all the trade stuff kind of, you could tell they weren't really, that wasn't their thing. And then the tradespeople were really tough, but then the art side was very like, So it was an interesting mix. For sure.
So I figured, screw it. Like I'll just hire everybody.
We'll just see who makes it out,
and then see what happens. And then there's like it's kind of was a meritocracy thing, and here you are years later. You're the last one standing. It was really great because I was getting very worried because nobody knew where to steer me, what direction, like who to recommend me to. Everybody that they knew that was doing metal art was not producing enough to need helpers. So when I saw the ad, I was like, please, like oh yes, I came over here. We hit it off. It was great. And then, but what the funny thing was? It was the first day. I think you had like a couple people coming in that day, and he was late.
Yeah. And now look at you.
Yeah, look at it now. Yeah, you were very.
I called him and I was like, "Am I at the right spot?" And he's like, "Oh shoot, I forgot. I'll be right there." He lived down the street, so he was able to come in like.
Oops.
Not even 10 minutes.
It's hard. Well, it turns out that juggling, like it sounds like a good idea to have like a bunch of people all coming in and see who whatever. It's a lot of work. Yeah. It was a lot of work. So anyhow, I'm really glad that where we're at now, where you guys are dialed in and kicking butt and doing and helping out with a lot of these projects. And then Jake, you found out about this through Nasim.
Yeah.
And I think that happened. I remember we were getting ready. We're going to do a big project with a ton of butterflies and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, Nasim, like we got this big butterfly project coming up. There's gonna be a ton of repetitive like sanding, and then everything's gonna have to be polished
and all
this
I
stuff.
Really don't want to do that.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it's like it seems like
you gotta meet Jake.
Yeah, there's
this guy.
Yeah, there's this guy.
He loves grunt work.
Yeah, there's this guy.
I did warn Jake like quite a few times. I was like, by the way,
it was.
In the beginning, it's going to be like a lot of butterflies. There's a lot of them. It's going to be 8 hours a day of the same thing over and over and over again. He's like, that's fine.
So you said that there's going to be 8 hours a day of this repetitive butterfly thing over and over again for you.
For you.
Yeah.
Really
hey, he got treated real nicely in the beginning. I think it was like within the first like 2 or 3 weeks, we went lobster diving one day.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Field trips,
right?
Yeah. Well, because Casey felt bad.
No.
Yeah. It's so super bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but no, I think so. So that was kind of, how Jake kind of got started down here, and then we've kind of, with this thing. I mean, we work in wood, metal, and stone, and there's a lot of different techniques, a lot of different processes. I mean, a lot of this stuff is so specific to what we're doing. That, I mean, a lot of these things I've had to kind of invent as I go. So even taking people that maybe have a background and all these different things, most of this stuff's new to even fairly seasoned people because it's just so specific and so new to what we're doing. So really, for this, a lot of what I'm looking for is people that can come in with a good attitude and be adaptable and have aptitudes to be able to pick this stuff up. And then we kind of innovate as we go. Mm-hmm. And so that's where we kind of, and just so people know, I mean, there's a lot that goes into making all these sculptures, and, having help with, some of the welding stuff, to have help with some, like, grinding some of the welds so we have nice smooth transitions on stuff, to have help with, some of the sanding and the finishing stuff on the wood, to have help with moving stuff and bending stuff. And I mean, there's a lot of little things. And I think that, a lot of times people look at art like, oh, you have people helping. So it, that's like, there are people out there that kind of look at stuff and go, oh, they look at it in a negative way. Having, having a team that makes stuff.
Yeah.
And ultimately I've come to the conclusion, because I originally kind of looked at things in that light when I was first starting out, but I've come to the conclusion that really, when you're doing large stuff, when you're scaling things up, when you're doing it, like you can't just do it as an island. Mm-hmm. Like it just mm-hmm. doesn't work. And then also, as we get busier and busier, and as we do more and more stuff, I find that the most value that I bring to the things or to the project is the things that only I can do. Mm-hmm. And so obviously the vision, the flow, all these different things, like that's where the majority of the value that I bring to it really is, if I think that for me to be able to kind of use my time in a way that's where we can really cherry pick my time, where I can really lean into the stuff that is where I really bring the value, and kind of step away a little bit from some of the stuff where does not necessarily need to be me. I think it actually brings more value to the client, because I'm able to really lean into the things that I do, and not be diluted with like a bunch of tedious sanding or mm-hmm. like repetitive welds or whatever.
Well, it works out really well too, because then it's like, we're learning these things from you. Like, you are the one who comes up with everything in terms of like designing and putting everything together. Well, you teaching us gives us an opportunity to like practice the same thing over and over and over and over again, and like really hone in those skills, and just get a lot better at doing certain. Like, I got a lot better at welding here than I did at school. Well, obviously it's like different welding and stuff, but if I just took the time to figure these things out on my own, like not having you teach me, it would have taken way longer to get to the level I am at some of these processes. Yeah. So it's for me, I think it's great for both of us, because you get time to focus on the things that you need to, and then I get to practice my skills on stuff that it's I'm proud to put my name on, or your name, but look at and say proud
to be involved in.
Proud to be involved in.
No, I think it's great.
And it's the same for me with jewelry. Like all the finish work that we do. Yeah. Like that's like thousands of hours of work that like kind of anyone can do, but you have all of your like really specific things that only you can do, and then all that finish work, like I've gotten really good at it. So with jewelry, like I can make something like perfect metallic glossy shine, and it looks great. Yeah.
No, I think it's good. Well, and I kind of, before we dive into some, because I do want to start talk about some of the projects that we're doing, and just give people little updates on some of the different things. But as a young person that's diving into this world of doing art, right, and navigating all that stuff, because it's it changes. Like when I first started doing this, like as a, I've been doing art my whole life, but when I first started doing this, the business end of this was like, I think 2008. So it was like almost, going on close to 20 years ago. Yeah. There was no social media really that was meaningful. There was not, a lot of the stuff, like you're selling stuff through festivals or galleries or whatever. There wasn't really, there was like older artists that kind of were more established, so you could kind of pick their brains on how that worked, but it kind of seems to me like the art world, everything's changing so much that like navigating these things and like adapting to these new challenges is huge. And like what you've done, Jake, with your YouTube channel and like showing some of that stuff, you know, and like figuring out what actually works marketing wise for some of the jewelry stuff you're doing or whatever. I mean, that seems like you like figuring out how to adapt to a rapidly changing landscape seems like one of the key things to doing art.
Oh yeah. And it's kind of crazy. I feel like one of the things that we kind of have in common with like both of our art styles, we both really like things done by hand.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a sort of story that can be shared that not a lot of people are sharing because people don't like do every step by hand, or like they kind of like outsource certain things to kind of make things a little faster. And I feel like neither of us do that. And that's like one way that people like us can kind of share our story and get it out there.
Yeah, well, and it's an authentic story.
Yeah, and it's really authentic.
Yeah, no, I think that, I mean, again, looking at art, and this is a little bit of a side thing, but I mean, again, this art landscape is changing so fast. Like there's AI is coming in, and it's like, you see some of the stuff that it's doing, you know, with like graphic arts and even like some of the, you know, film, I mean, just all sorts of stuff. Like it's changing things rapidly. And I think that is going to, it's regardless of what field, it's going to make a lot of change. Yeah. And I think that, you know, I'm a little farther down the road on what I'm doing. You guys are kind of starting off on your art careers, and that's going to be a factor. But I think that figuring out ways to like figuring out what it is, like there's always going to be, you know, art's been around for as long as we've been human. Like that, you look at some of these, you know, Lascaux caves and stuff like that. I mean, that's 40, 50, 60, there's tens of thousands of years old. And there was art that was very well done, very established. It's obviously part of the human experience. So it's always going to be part of what we're doing. It's just how do you go and modernize it, and how do you get it out there for people to absorb and experience? Because I think as things get more and more automated, as things have gotten more and more automated, I mean, we live in this throwaway society where like so much of the stuff that we have just shows up on our doorstep from Uncle Jeff Bezos. It just shows up, and then it's like you have it for a brief period of time, and then it ends up in a landfill. And most of the stuff that we have is just stuff that is like that nobody, who knows if anybody even touched it or made it. And that's where art is kind of one of those things that like it kind of transcends that, because it's made by a person, and it has its own inherent value. And like whether it's a sculpture or a bracelet or whatever, or night painting or whatever it is, there's something really special about that. And I think that especially now that, you know, I mean, art education in schools is like diminishing every year. I think that really, like you said, with, you know, educating our audience on social media or whatever the channel, whatever ways that you can do it, and showing people like, hey, this is what goes into it. People are drawn to stuff that's real and authentic. And like, I think that as things kind of go one way with AI and everything, I think there's going to be a lot of people that are just like, they hungry for something that's real. And so I think that art is always going to be something that kind of is in that world, but it's, you know, how do we all navigate that?
Yeah, it's still constantly changing.
Yeah. So, but, so I think we can go into some of these different projects that we got going and some of the different things. I mean, we just finished up, what was it, last weekend, I think it was. We're at the Coast Film Festival. Oh, yeah. For that Epicenter piece, which we made, which was a pretty monumental kind of sized piece.
Actually, yeah.
It's a great piece. Yeah, I like that one.
And it kind of went pretty steady. Like there wasn't any crazy parts.
It didn't lead to any like severe depression.
Yeah. There weren't really any days we're leaving and we're all just angry.
Where I'm like, are you guys? Are you guys I'm on suicide watch or something?
No, I think the worst thing with that one was maybe I had some back pain after a while from getting down to weld on the very bottom when we were doing the skin on there, but it was, I really liked it. Yeah, I liked being, knowing that I was going to be coming in and just be welding all day because, we have a lot of different stuff going on here, but the welding's a lot of fun.
Good.
It was good. I feel like that one, we would all be working at the same time on it.
Yeah.
And we would all just come in and do our thing. Yeah. And everything was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
It was good.
It wasn't like the dolphins.
It wasn't like the,
the stainless dolphins. Nasim actually.
I was on vacation for that.
Yeah, Nasim went on vacation, and then we had a real tight timeline for these stainless dolphins. They turned out beautiful, but there was about a week of despair.
Yep.
Where I think Nasim was.
I was gone that whole time. I came back. I was just
having a great time.
Wow, you guys!
Great job, guys. This looks awesome.
Nasim had a great time.
Don't talk to us.
Yeah, at a film festival or something.
Meanwhile,
I think I was at a festival.
Meanwhile,
kind of looking at the ground like.
Well, I mean, there's times. So these dolphins were made out of stainless steel. We had a real tight timeline on it. Mm-hmm. I'd accepted the deposit and said, yeah, we'll be able to get this done. Mm-hmm. But there was a whole lot of things where there was about the first 3 quarters of that first week.
Yeah.
I was concerned that we might not be able to actually do it. Mm-hmm. And it just wasn't coming together. Like it looked terrible. Like the metal wasn't looking the way I wanted. The pattern, because it's all fabricated. So we had, these big, huge sheets of stainless that we'd cut out for this thing. So we have thousands of dollars worth of stainless steel already. Basically, if it didn't work out, it'd be just thousands of dollars worth of recyclable garbage, basically. And it didn't quite. It was horrible. So horrible feeling for that first most of that week.
I think you started trying to form it by hand, like on the end, like.
Were we doing that?
Yeah. You made like a.
I blocked it out. It was
rounded
that
piece
bad.
of wood. No, yeah.
We made a lot of dies for that one too.
I was holding it up while you were like hammering it, but then it's like that's obviously not going to make it like really flush and nice.
Yeah.
And it was trial and error, and it was all error.
We ended up using the press on that one, right?
Yeah.
The press and the air.
The planishing hammer.
Planishing hammer. Yeah.
So a lot of what goes into doing these things, because again, you have to make it, and then you have to make it efficiently. But using the press, we're able to form it out, and I think we got it figured out where it was starting to come together, and it was like actually looking pretty good. Like it was starting to look where I'm like, not on suicide watch anymore.
And then Nasim walks in. It's like, wow,
great.
You guys did it.
That's great. What a fun project. So that was a challenging one. The piece turned out awesome. Like it all came together nice. I'm real proud of that one. But that first week was really rough. But Epicenter was good. That one's kind of a fun one. I mean, again, with all these things, like art kind of tells a story, and so that one, we had so many different types of different elements that kind of went into that one. That was like, because we've made, once we kind of make something, like we make a sea anemone for this project, or mussel shells for this other project, or a little octopus, or this, that, and whatever. We've done so much over the years that we're able to kind of take all these ingredients and kind of put that in to kind of tell that kind of an immersive story with that piece. But it was kind of fun. And then the film festival last weekend was pretty cool to be able to see that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Natalie Faye did this really nice, in case anybody hasn't seen it, Natalie Faye did a really beautiful little short film about it that kind of tells that story and a little bit of the backstory. And that one's currently over in Catalina.
Yeah.
And that was So that was a learning curve on that. So each one of these things kind of has a little bit of a learning curve to it. After years and years of me not doing any wood octopus, we now have 2 that are in the works that have come along as commissions. So, after I do these stone projects or some of these things, I'm kind of like, I'm never doing that again. And I make these bold statements. I'm never doing one of those again. Because they're just, it's a very tedious, time-consuming process, but I love the finished product on those things so much that it's
really cool to see you be able to carve it out of that one piece. Like I do a lot better with being able to add materials. Metal and ceramics is great, but once you take something off of the wood, you can't put it back, and it's cool to see those ones come out of there and slowly see the whole
different.
process from the beginning all the way to the finished piece.
Yeah. Well, working in wood, metal, and stone, there's a lot of different skill sets that kind of happen, and there's a lot of different things that, and again, I mean, doing what we're doing, everybody's got their different aptitudes. And so, I kind of see, like Jake, you've kind of, I've kind of you're kind of been my go-to person now for a lot of the wood finishing, sanding, like that kind of stuff. Nasim's doing a lot of welding and that kind of stuff now, and doing some of the forming stuff. So it's kind of, there's all these different things, and everybody kind of gravitates to different things, but it's kind of, it's fun to kind of see where it all goes. But yeah, it's interesting. Well, and then, again, I mean, it's kind of the business of this stuff. We're trying to kind of gear up and get some items ready, some stuff ready for Christmas time sales and all that kind of stuff, and some commissions. So, there's always a bunch of projects that we're kind of going, working on.
Yeah. There's always something.
Still have a lot of butterflies going on. You have a lot of butterflies. So Jake's
the bonsai tree was a lot of fun. I like that one a lot.
Oh yeah,
that was a fun one. Yeah,
that was really cool.
Yeah. So the bonsai tree is a piece that went to Yokohama Tires, commissioned it, and it was kind of a little different. Getting in and kind of doing some bit of a little botanical piece, and then it was a juniper tree, so we had to weld up a whole bunch, about a gazillion little juniper leaves, little nubs that we all kind of put together, and I thought that was a pretty fun project.
It was cool, yeah. Those nubs took so much longer than I thought they were going to take too, but I think the coloring process on that was interesting as well. Yeah, because we flipped it upside down to put all that patina on there, and I think it turned out looking great though.
It did. It looked really good. I wasn't there for the patina. You guys did a really good job.
Yeah, it was fun. Well, the thing that's kind of fun with this, and I think that's fun with art, and again, as something that we're all doing that I'm doing as to make a living, that you guys are working to do, and you're involved in. There's never the same. It's never the same thing twice.
No.
And so, I mean, a lot of jobs, there's a lot of repetition and a lot of stuff, where it's like, and there is a lot of repetition, like if you're sanding butterflies or polishing butterflies, like there's a lot of repetition in that, because we need to do a swarm of butterflies. But every project kind of has these new challenges, and I think that's what kind of keeps it interesting and fresh for me, is that problem solving aspect of all this stuff. I mean, what kind of has drawn you guys to art and kind of kept you engaged in it?
Yeah, so getting that finished project, and it's like what you said, like the problem solving, like, if you're creating something and you come across all these issues, and then at the end you end up with the product that you want. It's a really satisfying feeling to be able to like have that moment where you like decide, where you're like, this is the way that I wanted it to look, and it looks great, it's finished.
When it all comes together.
Yeah, kind of along the same lines for me. It's like I'll get an idea for something, and then being able to like take something that I thought of and bring it to life. Like we've kind of talked about that a little bit, like those 2 a.m. ideas, where you just like, you have something,
can't sleep, and you're just pacing.
Yeah, like times like that, because I've had nights where I'll have like an idea for a ring or something in my head, and I'll be like, I can't sleep now, and then go and make it, and then I can actually like see it, touch it, feel it, and like know that like I just brought this to life from my head. It's like that feeling. That's definitely what draws me to it.
Yeah,
it's cool. Yeah, it's cool being able to make something, look at it, and be like, actually,
like, wow,
I did it. I actually made it look right.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to have something tangible.
Yeah.
It's nice to have something tangible to kind of like instead of like working and then just, it sort of feels like, where'd all the time go or whatever. Yeah. It's nice to have a tangible representation of your time, and that is kind of cool.
I'm glad people are getting back into the handmade art, because I really don't like using the computers. I don't like I'm so not looking forward to having to do all the social media stuff either.
Well, if you could just have like a little robot assistant that can handle all that stuff, then you're good to go.
It's kind of nice to just be able to.
We can put up a cork board out in the street and be like, Nasim made a painting. If anyone wants to buy it, just post it on the cork.
No, I think I think it's a tricky one now, because you have to you have to dive in, and you have to be, you can't opt out of social media, for example.
Yeah.
And social media, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? I think it's like fire, right? It can warm you up. It's a tool. It can also burn your whole house down in a sense. And I think that there's so many people. I mean, and this is something, I'd be curious to hear your guys' thoughts on. But so many people, you're cruising around, and everybody's on their phone. Like, they're just walking around in the big world out there, and they're just on their phone.
Dude, I see people doing that while they're driving.
Well, that's a whole nother thing. But you see people in a restaurant, and they're hanging out with their friends, and all the friends everybody's all on their phone. And it's like you're opting for the simulation of the real thing, right? And so kind of figuring out how to navigate that, and like how do you kind of add in these real things, and kind of work through that. But you have to be able to kind of be involved and be present on social media. And a lot of artists I know, like they really haven't put in the work to or they opted out of social media.
Yeah.
And I get it, because I fought it for a long time too. And then it's like, at eventually a certain point, my wife Gina's like, dude, you're an idiot for doing this. Like, you need to get it's Instagram, at least, is like it's pictures, and like your stuff is visual, like you're stupid. And ultimately, as much as I hate to admit, she was totally right on that, and I was an idiot, and I maybe still am. Wow, but it was a big breakthrough. But I think that like navigating this stuff, is really important, because it's like, how do you get your work out there? How do you do it? And I think that's that's another big part of it. And also I think like, so for you guys grew up, obviously interested in art, doing art, whatever. Like, what would you say to other like young people that are like wanting to do it and get in there, and like what would you recommend as like a path forward on that, into like leaning into it?
Oh, just doing it.
Just getting
just like a little bit every day. Like, I remember when I was a little kid, my mom would have me draw. Or like, I wanted to. She wouldn't force me to. Yeah. I would draw probably every day, and she would encourage it. And it was just like I was a kid, nothing good, but just like having a little moment to myself of like I said before, like thinking of something and bringing it to life, or like wanting to do something and then doing it. Yeah. Just like a little bit every day of drawing. Now I make jewelry, completely different, but still just like every day, if you just kind of like,
it's that artistic, that's that mindset.
Just like wake that part of your brain. Yeah. It kind of just snowballs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's really important to like not listen to like other people's opinion on whether you should be doing art or not. Like, for me, it was pretty clear that I was really into anything creative, but it was not really it wasn't encouraged to take it as a career, because people are concerned about, how much money you'll make, because that's important for living, obviously. But I think what a lot of people do is they kind of imagine themselves doing art for a living, and they're not artists and they're not very artistic, so they're like, oh my god, that would never work, like what are you gonna do for money? And it's like, they're not, they're not artistic, they're not, as they don't have that creative thing, so imagining themselves doing it, they're like, it would never work. But if you just do it, like, I think it's like most fields, if you put in the effort and you really work towards it, like you can be successful. Like this is definitely something that's you're able to do,
Yeah. I think so. Another thing, because I mean, again, like I get hit up a lot by people that are like, hey, like, where do I go to learn? Like, do you ever teach classes? Like, do we ever do this? Do we ever do? And I try to help people and to tell people how, whatever, help share information as much as I can. But we're pretty busy, so we're not doing classes, we're not doing any of that kind of stuff. But I do feel that, like, I think I've got a mindset where it's like a rising tide lifts all boats, right? And so like, how do we, because there's not a whole lot of places for people to go to learn about like sculpture kind of work, right? Like, where do you go to learn wood carving or stone carving or metal sculpture or whatever? Like, you went to welding school, when they taught you how to weld, but there's not really like any thought really towards like if you want to weld for sculpture, like for artwork kind of stuff. Like that's an afterthought.
Yeah, totally. Like
so
I didn't know how to do anything in the shop, like use any of the tools. Like I had to ask how to turn on the air compressor.
Yeah.
So I went to school and I learned how to use all the machines and, kind of,
which is great,
very basic of all this stuff. But then once I got here, like everything that you started teaching me right off the bat was completely different. Like the way that they do like fabrication over there, it's a little bit more like making sure everything looks really precise and like measuring very carefully and
we're
like,
not doing that here.
They're like
there's no square edges
and it's really like everyone's like like laying down dimes and making these welds look super perfect. And I get here and it's like okay, so great line, you need to melt it all down and make it flow.
Yeah, we gotta it's all getting ground anyhow.
Yeah, it's getting ground anyway, so it's
organic.
So I mean I guess my thoughts are, and for anybody that's listening, is like, I don't know, like trying to figure out a way of kind of helping to educate the next generation of artists, and like how does that happen? And it's I guess in some ways like all the YouTube stuff that we've got and all that is like little bits and pieces of it. And I think that I think that getting some of these things out, whether or not it's actually a how-to video or not, like anytime there's a video out there that shows something, like it does show, like you can glean techniques and stuff out of it. But, I don't know. I mean, as far as like kind of figuring out ways and maybe, if people are listening to this, you can, write in if you guys have questions or whatever, but like how do we help to cultivate the next generation of artists? And how do we help to get that out there so that this stuff doesn't just die?
Yeah,
I feel like in this day and age, it's really daunting seeing like if you are a young artist and you want to be an artist, seeing like going to a gallery, seeing sculptures, because you don't see like all the hours that someone put in, you just see it.
You only
like
see the finished product.
And you're like, wow, how could I ever make something like that? And this kind of goes back to what I said before, like showing that, this starts out as a block of bronze and then it goes through this process and this process. Like not necessarily showing exactly how we're making things, but like showing that it is like fully done by hand and like that is possible.
It demystifies it a little bit.
Yeah, it makes it more attainable, or like seem more attainable to someone who might want to enter this crazy field.
Yeah. Against everybody's advice.
Against everyone's advice.
No matter what.
If you're cool with being poor.
Yeah. So against everybody's advice, if they still want to do it, there is a path.
It is possible.
I don't think I'd survive in a regular corporate environment for many reasons. 100%. Not even just the way that I talk
about this a lot.
No, it's this or nothing.
I'm like, I think I probably.
You're all in on art.
I think in a regular job, I would have been fired within a couple weeks, probably. I mean,
if you're late, we should make this.
Yeah, like Casey is very gracious to me.
And see how fast she gets.
How long it would take? Like what's that one show, The Prison, where they send people in to go like be in the prison system to kind of like see what's going on over there, and they're just like, oh my god, just like that in the corporate world.
Scared straight.
Just immediately.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I will say, having worked at not just for myself forever, like if you're working 5 days a week and you're late 5 out of 5 days a week, like, and maybe not just like every week, like that's probably I would say that's probably not like a long-term employment plan.
I definitely took advantage of the fact that like Gina was like 8 months pregnant when he hired me, and I was like, oh yes, little babies love me. So then I just became best friends with Koa, and like, what are you doing?
Well, you also were very punctual like that first day.
Yeah, she was here.
Yeah, on the first
day you were here like right on
like
time.
5 minutes late, but I was freaking out because I thought I was like, oh my god, I'm 5 minutes late, and then he wasn't even here. So.
You were late the first day.
Oh shit, you weren't even not even
like
the first day. You weren't
she tells the story wrong
4 or 5 minutes late.
You're both
Oh
late.
man.
Yeah. Well, like,
Well-
okay, I pulled into the parking spot right when I was supposed to get here, and then it took me like a minute or two to walk around because I didn't know where I was at, and
Oh yeah.
Also, the turning in here for the first time was really confusing because it's just like, oh, like your destination's on the left, but this whole canyon is like your
Laguna
destination's
Canyon's no
on the
man's
left.
land. Yeah, it's no man's land. No, it's I get it. No, I mean it's the nice thing about this. I mean, again, we're going to continue to work on getting to work on time.
Yes.
But just as long as
I come in on the weekends.
Just as long as you do again.
I
For the record, you do make up for it by staying late and coming in on weekends. And again, like we don't have set, like we do have set hours, but there's times where we got to come in early.
Yeah.
Or we got to stay late, or we got to. It's all over the place. So, you know, I mean, again, just so long as it's within a certain rate. Like I do like to give a certain amount of grace for that, which is
get our shit done.
been
which is
awesome,
why we're all
for
here.
me.
Yeah, yeah. Just as long as you're not, showing up late, like 8:30, and then like. As long as I'm not paying for you to be late,
No,
like,
yeah.
it's all good, yeah. But
Of
no,
course.
it is pretty, yeah. But I mean, this, because again, like when this kind of stuff, especially being self-employed and doing art, and the fact that like this is like, yes, it's something I do for a job, but it's also like my life too.
Yeah.
And so everything kind of bleeds into everything else. Like there's not like this like work life barrier. Like yesterday, the kids are in here, like they, I pick them up from school. The kids are in here and they're running around, and Brooks is like blacksmithing, and Koa's like doing who knows what, But, so it's
the
like,
ceiling.
he's painting everything, and we've got
Covered in chalk, yeah.
And
Oh my
meanwhile,
God,
and meanwhile we've got like very expensive sculptures that are here. To
Yeah, and the
shop's
shop's not really like baby proof.
No, so I mean, it's this. You guys have kind of gotten drug into this whole world,
Yeah.
where it's like you're working doing art, but you're also like babysitting, and you're also doing whatever. And then we're like, it's like I get a phone call from the lifeguards, and they say, "Hey, the conditions are perfect right now." And so it's like, screw this, we're fucking out of here.
The orcas
it's
was a
time to
great
go
one.
yeah.
Oh
so
yeah,
like
the
that.
orcas was,
There's
was
orcas.
sick.
Close up shop. Let's go.
That was
Yeah.
also crazy. That was like you came in, you pulled your truck up, you leaned out the window. There's orcas.
There's a pod of
There's
orcas.
orcas.
Get in the fucking
Get it, let's go.
Close the door. What the fuck are you guys
Yeah.
doing?
Well, it's because it's. I mean,
Which is true,
there's sometimes
like-
there are opportunities,
Yeah.
and it's like
That's
like
the
with the
great
ocean,
part, yeah.
right? Like I mean, the orcas, they're not gonna wait until we get there. They're
Yeah.
they happen to
Yeah.
be right off the coast right now. We have an opportunity to potentially go see them. Like we don't like. There's not a bureaucratic chain of command we got to go through to like leave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Like it's like let's
just
just get
you.
out of here. If you guys want to see it, if you're not in the truck in 1 minute, you don't get to go. And so like everyone's
we're
just
like,
scrambling, whatever.
What's your thing, boss? Yeah.
Yeah, or like again, like the ocean, you're on her schedule, and so there's a lot of days like right now, it's kind of a pretty day, whatever, but it just rained. Like it's kind of winds on it a little bit. Like we might as well get some work done and like
Yeah.
double down on
Yeah,
it.
I
I don't get FOMO about that. But those perfect, glorious, crystal clear, nice days, like I'm, like we need to. Part of the value of doing this is like, is if you are going to do this and it's your life and your lifestyle and your job and all this stuff bleeds together, like it's got to be fun.
Yeah, and you kind of owe it to yourself when your work is your life. You got to be able to take those little moments.
You know what, Jake? I totally agree with you. I do owe it to myself.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I
Yes,
do
you
owe it
do.
to myself.
Self-care.
Yeah, a little self-care.
Yeah.
And also, I think that, again, I mean, I've drugged you guys. Poor Nasim, like I've drugged her. She's never went out. Like you've done some stuff in the water or whatever. Nasim had never been out, put a mask on and been out like free diving at all.
Oh, really? When you started?
I'm like kind of scared of the ocean. It's great. I love going out there, but
so-
I'm
but
like,
so it's like-
you guys know, I'm scared of
I know,
waves.
I
It's like 2-foot waves. And I'm like, it's
So
just
we take her
anxiety.
out in like day one, and we're going out, and then there's
No wetsuit. It was so
Oh,
cold.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I'm not.
and
I'm
then a
just,
set came in, and she got kind of washed over the rocks. So it was kind of not a great
he had
intro.
Brooks, and yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
but long story short, but I think that like, but also, aside from the almost drowning and all the other stuff, like she got to see what it's actually like out there.
Yeah.
And one of the things you said was you came back, you go, oh, like this is like kind of like, it looked like what we're doing
It
here.
was just like Calico Bass, and I was like,
That's
whoa,
crazy.
oh
But
my
like-
God, it looks just like our sculpture. And you're like, yeah.
That's the
The
idea.
sculpture
But-
looks
but I
like the bass.
Yeah.
But I think that that's an important thing, and I think that's part of all this stuff. And you guys have been here for a while, and to really like understand what we're doing, and to be able to really like understand the flow and all that stuff. Like it's important to see it and experience it and live it. And so taking those field trips. Again, I mean, you guys are off the clock, so it's not a huge expense to me. But taking those field trips, I think that there's a lot of value in that, and I think there's a lot that brings where you see that, and now it's like I've been out diving, I've been seeing all this stuff, I see this tide pool and this ecosystem and all this, and then it's like we go to make Epicenter, and it's like, oh, like this feels like kind of how it feels when I'm out diving.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a neat thing. Like I think that there's something about that that's very important for all of us to experience,
Yeah, and it's like Epicenter. Remember, we were installing it. I think a lady, or maybe it was a guy. Someone like came up and was like, "Wait, that's exactly how it looks like out in front of the casino."
Yep.
And
Yep.
we're like,
At Avalon.
"Yes,
Yeah.
at Avalon."
Yeah.
Yeah.
The casino that's not a casino.
The casino that's not a casino.
The casino
everyone.
formerly known as a real
Yeah.
casino.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it really does.
Yep.
We kind of like bring that to life.
And I think
looks-
that's a feel thing. Like I think that with nature, I've always felt with if you're capturing wildlife and nature and the feel of that, you've got to spend the time out in nature to I think you absorb that, because there's a certain way that I could use anatomical reference photos and stuff like that for that part of it, and that would be good and it's accurate, and I do that. But the movement and the way that that an animal interacts with its environment, that's something you gotta spend time to be able to feel that, because there's a certain way that fish will swim through kelp. There's a certain way that how they position themselves. There's a certain way an octopus moves, where it's not, tentacles aren't just going everywhere all crazy willy-nilly. Like it sort of unrolls in a way that makes sense for that species. And I think that's where spending the time doing all that stuff is so important.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even know that like California spiny lobsters were like not the ones with the claws until I started working here. And then I was like, oh, I guess I never paid attention, because you don't really think about it.
It's great.
or
Well,
whatever.
like all of the lobster diving videos I posted, whenever I post one, probably almost every time I post one on my story, someone replies like, "Oh, where are the claws?
Yeah.
Did the claws get ripped
They
off?"
fell off.
They fell out.
They-
Yeah, I
they
ate
fell
them
off.
already.
I ate them in
Yeah.
the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is it's kind of crazy.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I think I think that's part of, again, like part of what I want to do with the work that I do is as someone that's, I'm doing nature and wildlife because I love nature and wildlife, and I see the value in it, and I enjoy all those things. And so I think part of it, and some of these things like these sharks that I did, and some of these other things, and some of these, there's a lot of off-brand species that we're sculpting here that are not, cute mainstream things.
Yeah.
And I think that they're very intrinsically cool and and they're special in and of themselves. And I think that art and sculpture is a way to kind of bring that to life, and bring it to life for an audience that may not interact with those things in any other form.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's a neat thing. And so, that's all part of this whole thing and part of this journey. And if it's not fun, if we're not having fun doing this stuff, God, what's the point? I mean, it's like if this is not fun and enjoyable and kind of inspiring and challenging and all those things, I mean, it starts to like the work, like that little, there is some magic that goes into artwork that somebody made.
Yeah.
And I think that magic comes from the fun and from the enjoyment and from the love of what it is. And I think it's just this intent. It's just unquantifiable, intangible thing that just gets injected into the process, into the stuff through the process. But I think if you're just doing it and you don't love it, or you're not feeling it, or whatever, I think there's a little bit of that magic that's not there. And I think that that's something that is noticeable in the finished product.
I was super relieved that the vibes here were so nice and we were able to curate this cool environment, because I was worried that I was going to be bullied, or, like people were just going to give me, I mean, yeah, but like not like, I thought like I was going to get shit on a lot more. I've heard some horror stories with some of these like.
So where do you get bullied more?
Well, okay, welding school was weird because people were like too nice to me at first. Where they're like, I'd walk in the room and they're like, "Oh, sorry, I said fuck." I'm like, dude, a woman? Come on, like
don't cuss in front of a lady.
Like everyone knows what it's like in this environment. No one's coming in here like, whatever. But yeah, I heard a lot of horror stories about, sometimes girls get more shit because, like, I need help grabbing stuff sometimes, or, like, opening things or whatever. Like, I'm not always, as strong, whatever. But the vibe here has been awesome.
I like to cultivate an environment where everybody's getting shit all
everybody's
the time.
getting shit on equally.
You get a ton of shit, but you could also dish it back at us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what makes it fun. Well, I think that's again, if everybody's, I think a healthy work environment is one where everybody's getting shit all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's it seems to solve a lot of, we don't need to do like work retreats just so we can tolerate being around each other.
Yeah,
we could.
We kind of did. I mean, going diving and stuff. Exactly. I guess that's a work retreat.
That's kind of it.
Yeah.
You go
and
you
Catalina was kind of a
kill an opal eye.
Oh my god!
For the record, that's you that's been killing the opal eye. Like I don't want any rumors getting out there that I'm just out there just shooting opal eye. Yeah, but you've done a great job. When he got that
first one, he's like, "Don't tell Casey."
The first one,
yeah. Well, I'm glad you're out there just slaying them.
No.
Well, I posted a picture like I got it.
I wanted a fish. Don't tell Casey I got an opal eye. I come in the next day and Brooks is like, Jake, I saw your huge fish.
Your opal eye. Yeah, Nasim, you told her not to just immediately. She came down and made sure that we all saw that.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's, it's all fun. Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
We all dish it.
Yeah. No, I think that's important. Well, I mean,
even Brooks dishes it too.
More than ever.
Dude.
Brooks is pretty good. He's got
he's
thrown out,
so we can't go too hard on him.
No,
he
he's
gets
pretty
a
good.
lot
No,
of
he
shit.
can take
He
it
actually
too, though.
can roll
Yeah,
with it,
no,
yeah.
he actually doesn't take. He doesn't like get offended or take it
Yeah,
personally.
that is
He like
true.
No, he's
pretty
gonna
good.
He'll just
do very well in life.
He's gonna
with that
be,
skill set. Yeah. No, he can really throw out some zingers, but he can roll with it too. Like he thinks it's funny. So I mean, a lot of kids like, if they get a little bit of crap, like they're just they just start immediately crying or shutting down or whatever. Brooks is not that.
He is not
No,
that.
he's got
Which
it
is
a
good
lot.
because Koa is a bulldozer.
Oh my god, he's so patient with
He's
it.
a bulldozer. Brooks is
Koa's so much fun too, though.
Yeah. So I mean, So the whole thing. I think it's fun. I mean, again, if you're going to be at work, why not? I mean, just so long as work's getting done. And this is a meritocracy out here. I mean, if you guys weren't getting stuff done and all that, then we wouldn't be able to be here. Because at the end of the day, there is a bottom line.
Yeah.
Like if work's not getting done and it's not getting done at a high level and getting done well, like we're all going to be out on the streets, right? But man, I mean, being trapped in an office with people that you hate just sounds awful. Like that sounds awful. And that's a lot of people's like everyday reality.
Yeah.
So,
that takes a toll on you in your personal life too, because you get home and you're like,
go home and yell at your your wife or boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever and just be a monster. Yeah. No, I think it's well, and this is we're in a great spot where we have a unique opportunity to be able to create whatever we want out of all this, which is really fun. So, No, I think it's really fun. Well, you guys have done a great job, and it's really nice. You know, I mean, it's just nice having a team where everybody gets along. Everybody talks a ton of shit all day
Everyone's
long.
on top of
That's how
making
you
sure
know
we
we
got
do it.
coffee on deck.
Well, I know.
I've been
Again,
really on top of that lately. It's been great.
Yeah.
I learned a while back that having a refrigerator full of high octane cold brew is actually a really good investment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because there's, otherwise when we kind of had some downtime that I didn't have that in there. Productivity went down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, keeping the temperature somewhat manageable is good, especially like Nasim
yeah.
just melts like if it gets too hot. So
It's been
I'm
great
so
since we moved back here. Yeah.
Is Nasim mad at me?
Oh my god.
yeah, no, she just shuts down.
No, she's just slutty.
She just gets pissed off. Yeah, if it's too hot, Nasim goes catatonic, and then that's not good for productivity
I was
either.
like,
So.
when was the last time she was pissed off at you? Oh, a month ago? You're good.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not.
Yeah, no, it was kind of pissed off half the time. But this has been a fun little chat. I think we're going to do these every now and then. We'll have a little shop talk episode, and we can kind of dive into some of these different projects. I mean, we haven't really talked at all about the zoo project that we did or the casino project. I mean, there's so many different ones we can kind of dive into. So I think that we'll save those for later episodes. But I think for anybody that's listening, anybody that has questions about this stuff, or if there's something specific that you guys want to hear about, write in and let us know, and we'll try to maybe address some of those things. For everybody, I think it's important to kind of get the word out on all this stuff and to kind of have these discussions, and for anybody that's interested in the arts or is a supporter of the arts, to like the episode and to share it with other people, and also subscribe, so it helps to kind of get the word out on these things. Yeah. But I appreciate you guys. I tell you, it's awesome having a team. The other thing about having a team that I think is so important is, again, art is it's kind of a roller coaster ride. There's highs and lows on this, especially if you're doing this for a living. It's kind of, there's highs and lows on it, and it's really nice to have a team of people that we're all have a shared mission on this stuff, and it really kind of helps to kind of level things out in a line of work that is completely,
Unstable.
erratic.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate you guys. Thanks for all the help with everything. Thanks for all the hard work you guys are doing. And we'll come back and have you guys back on again sometime soon.
All right.
Woo.